Hello and welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Bitcoin. Bitcoin. I came across a very worrying statistic today, and this was on CNBC. And the statistic was simply to say that if you invested in Bitcoin at any point in time from the end of 2020 coming into 2021 and held your investment from that time till now, your investment has lost money. Your investment has lost money. If you invested in Bitcoin from any period coming from 2021 to today, your investment is underwater. Your investment is losing you money. Bitcoin buyers, Bitcoin investors, cryptocurrency investors right across the board have been losing money. And as at the end of today, this is the 15th of June, Bitcoin was trading at $20,000. And if you had bought it, say around November last year, you would have paid 68,000 US dollars for it. And today, about 6-7 months later, it's worth $20,000. Guys, your money is far too precious for you to invest it anyhow. Your money, you work hard for it, for you to invest it thoughtlessly, to invest it in things that go belly up. All right? Now, I know Bitcoin supporters will say, hey, look, it's just a dip. The market will come back. This is a good time to, buy the dip. This is a time to hodl, hold on for dear life. But then there are some people who can't afford to buy the dip or cannot afford to hodl because they took a very risky gamble with money they couldn't afford to lose. Those are the same people. Those are the people I want to talk to today. Guys, yes, I get it. Decentralized finance is like a step forward in terms of, the way we do business, in terms of the way we transact. Yes, I accept. And I'll also accept if someone comes to me and argues and says blockchain. Blockchain is the future, which it is, because it has applications and uses that go beyond just the digital currency aspect of our money. I agree. I absolutely agree. But don't say to someone that Bitcoin is an investment or cryptocurrencies are a good investment. Not with all the, money that people have lost. Yes, and people will say to me, hey, but Lawrence, investments generally and right across the board make or lose money for people every day. Yes, that's correct. That's absolutely correct. But just how many people actually appreciate and understand what cryptocurrencies actually are? Okay? I've had debates on social media chat groups and platforms with people like the real passionate, cryptocurrency fanatics. And I've always posed the question to them to say, you know what? How do you tell at any price whether Bitcoin or cryptocurrency is under or overvalued? The answer is you can't. You can't tell me or predict what the price of Bitcoin will be tomorrow, Or if the market somehow has got something wrong and they've mispriced your cryptocurrencies. You can't do that with cryptos. You just can't. Okay? But does the statistic that CNBC published today, which is to say that if you invested in Bitcoins from 2021 till now, you've lost money, is it totally true for all Bitcoin investors? The answer is no. There are people who've made a lot of money from cryptocurrencies. And there's an article on my LinkedIn, which I'll share in the description box below. Have a look at it. I said that Bitcoin made a lot of money for investors who got into it early. And when I say get into it early or got into it early, I'm talking about the people who bought around 2010, 2011, 2012 going forward. Those are the guys, ladies and gentlemen, who are still making money from their investment even at the price it's at today. I even gave an example for perspective and said, look, if you bought 1,000 US dollars worth of Bitcoin when it was first offered, and when Bitcoin was first offered, it was 0.008 of a cent. If you spent 1,000 United States dollars purchasing Bitcoin at that level, today you'd be a multi-billionaire. You'd be as rich as Phil Knight today. Phil Knight is the founder of Nike. He's worth somewhere in the region of 50 billion US dollars. You'd be several times richer than Roman Abramovich and several times richer than Aliko Dangote, the richest man in Africa. But most people got into cryptocurrencies fairly late. And when I say fairly late, I'm talking 2020, 2021, 2022. These are the casualties we're reading about. And I've been reading horror stories of people who borrowed money and bought at the time it was just too high, and have steadily watched their money disappearing. Don't be a person like that. Study your investments, guys. There's no such thing as a get rich quick. It doesn't exist. Get rich quick leaves you broke. So what are my, criteria for a good investment? How do I see what's a good investment from what's a bad investment? I have a couple of rules. I'll share with them. Number one, you've got to be able to understand what it is, first of all. If you don't understand it, run away from it. If you don't understand it, don't even touch it with this. If you don't understand it to the extent that you can explain whatever you're investing in to a young child, leave it alone. Right? Now, I'm in my mid-30s, and Bitcoin's been around for over 10 years. But only recently have I got to try and understand now what it is about, what exactly it is. And unfortunately, according to my criteria, I can't call Bitcoin a currency. No, I can't. I know most people do, but I can't. Bitcoin is nothing more. In fact, when I just say Bitcoin, I'm talking about cryptocurrencies generally, broadly. Okay? All of those to me are merely speculative digital assets. That's all they are. In Shona, we say kutamba njuga. It's gambling. All right? If you don't understand it, it took me a long time to say, okay, look, it's a currency that people use to, send to each other or trade with one another, and it doesn't need a central bank. It doesn't need another intermediary. It's not regulated, which is, I suppose, the biggest selling point for, its fans or disciples around the world. But for me, that's the point. That's what makes it less appealing. The fact that it's not regulated. It means that most of the time, you'll be hard pressed not to find criminals and scammers, and you've got plenty of scammers trying to sell you Bitcoin, false ones. All right. So if you don't understand an investment, don't touch it. Do not touch it. Leave it alone. An investment must be able to generate an income for you. Stocks do that. And I happen to like stocks. Maybe that's why I have a strong suspicion for, strong suspicions towards Bitcoin. It's because I happen to like stocks, I like bonds, I like real estate. All right? Those are things with value that is tangible. You can touch whatever it is. You can touch a house. If you have a tenant and they pay you a monthly rental, that's a good investment. You can leave it for, for whoever. Like if you pass on, if you happen to die, you can leave it for whoever remains after you. Shares, you can tell when a share is too expensive or overvalued, or when it's cheap or it's undervalued. You can do that. You can't do the same with Bitcoin. Bitcoin doesn't pay any interest. It doesn't generate what bankers or financial professionals call a yield. It doesn't do that. Bitcoin's price is supported by nothing more than just supply and demand, which the average person can never be able to predict in such a way that they can consistently make money. A good investment must be able to hold its value. I'll leave it to you. You'll be the one who decides in terms of the price of Bitcoin. It goes from $67,000 to $20,000 today in the space of 7 months. Can you afford to invest your retirement savings in that? I don't think so. Can you afford to invest your life savings in that? I don't think so. Let's be smart about money, guys. If you can't understand it, leave it alone. If it doesn't generate an income for you, a traceable income for you, leave it alone. Okay? That's it. Those are some of my own golden rules of identifying and selecting investments. I'll share more with you as time goes, but I really wanted to talk to people about what's going on. And then here's another golden rule. If it sounds too good to be true, then it probably isn't. And the one thing that stood out the most for me whenever I would speak to Bitcoin fans, Bitcoin fanatics, is that many of them always thought that investing in Bitcoin is certain success. It's impossible to fail. And the moment you hear people think that way, always make sure your antennas are buzzing. Make sure your suspicions are high, because that shows your market your market is becoming a bubble. That's one of the things the investment genius I follow almost religiously, Warren Buffett, says, be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. Bitcoin investors and cryptocurrency investors generally had really become greedy. $67,000 for a single coin, and it's gone down all the way to $20,000 in not even the space of a single year. That's definitely greed. And it always sounded like it was too good to be true. Never be a person, if you want to be successful in terms of investing, never be a person who is easily swayed by the fear of missing out. FOMO is not your friend when it comes to investing. FOMO is not your friend. Run away from things that make you feel like you're having FOMO. If it's too good to be true, then it probably is not. And not all that glitters is gold. I had people who would go so far as to say Bitcoin is going to be the new world reserve currency. I won't even comment. I will not even comment. I had people saying Bitcoin is a safe haven in times of uncertainty. I don't think they feel safe. I don't think Bitcoin investors feel safe today, or they feel safe for the last few weeks. Many of them feel anguished and, stressed out because they believed something was just too good to be true and too good to miss out on. Guys, thanks a lot for listening and watching my channel and supporting. Do continue to subscribe, do comment, continue to comment and to like. And don't forget, when you do subscribe, push the little bell button at the end, or rather next to the subscribe button, and then you'll know every time that I go online. Ladies and gentlemen, let's be smart and savvy with our money. Take care and God bless.